It's the most one-eyed podcast.
It's what we're here to do. There is only one side in this competition. It's game-changing.
It's absolutely game-changing, Deeble.
Riddle me that now.
Yeah, riddle me that, Deeble. Do you remember?
It's what we're here to
This is True Blood's #1 independent Sydney Swans fan podcast in the home studio today to review the Sydney Swans W Team's 2025 season. I am joined, as always, by the man who had probably the best weekend of sport one could possibly have. It is Alex Donnelly. Alex, how's it going?
I couldn't have said it any better, Paul. Apart from the Swans obviously not winning a preliminary final, which, you know...
We weren't even there to compete, so it's
yeah,
fine.
so look, I've mentally moved on, but yes... as an Arsenal and Australian supporter, my weekend couldn't have gone better. I got to see Travis Head slap 100. I got to see Carlton get their comeuppance in the prelim finals, and we are Team Brisbane here because, you know, family matters. As an Arsenal fan, we belted Tottenham 4-1 in the North London derby. Liverpool lost, Chelsea lost, and to top it all off, Man United had a man advantage for 70 minutes this morning and couldn't beat Everton and lost 1-0. It has been a great couple of hours to be me. Not a couple of hours, couple of days, but you know what? It's great. And now I have to talk about this because I got really angry last night, and I'm glad we didn't record last night because I might have gotten...
We probably would have had to record before the awards started, so I think we probably would have been quite jovial considering what we thought going into the last night.
Yeah, actually, I was really because for anyone who understands EPL, I woke up at 3:30 yesterday morning to watch that game live. So I was on fumes when the awards started. Those fumes quickly turned to a gaslit piece of anger. So good thing we didn't record. We'll get to that later. But yeah, it's got to relieve some of this now, which as we did throughout the evening last night, it's some of it good, fair bit of it shit.
Yeah, it's one of those ones where, you know, getting it out and having a platform to rant about it is a good situation. But yeah, I've kind of moved on. I still don't really understand the logic, but we'll get into it because a lot has happened since the last time we recorded. So we have not recorded since the very last game.
Day before the Melbourne Cup when I was deliriously tired.
And we were very much lamenting about the fact we'd absolutely bottled our seasoning and lost to Essendon. But it has been a very chaotic, I guess, few weeks for the club since then. So the very first thing that happened was my girl... Rebecca Privatelli announced her retirement, and we both, while we didn't come out straight up and retire her like we did Brooke Lachlan, or I did.
You did. I didn't do shit.
We kind of foresaw this coming. We thought it was probably going to be the end. We are obviously very, very sad because we love Beck very much, and she will always be a big, big part of the club. And I think she's just such an icon that everyone's going to remember her forever. Like, she kicked our first ever goal. Like, you don't get much better than that as a full forward. She's recently signed for the UNSW Bulldogs, which is really exciting. That's the uni I went to, and if I had played footy, that's who I would have played for. So
my first ever football club was the East Sydney Bulldogs.
Yeah, exactly. So she'll still be playing footy. I'm sure she'll still be around the club in some regard.
Get to the Village Green on a Saturday afternoon. I'm assuming it's still called the Village Green.
I graduated nearly 10 years ago. So
I haven't played there for 14 years.
But yeah, we obviously wish Priv all the best. We love her so much. And she was the first ever True Bloods W guest. So she really is like a huge part of this podcast. So enjoy all your fiery, you're actually being able to work just as a fiery now, which I think would probably be a big part of it for her.
And more time with the dog.
Yeah, and her partner. They're a very cute couple. So it's all worked out for the best. But then we did have 2 delistings.
Yep.
Sorry,
I thought you were going this. I was googling our list on my computer here.
Okay, so Giselle Davies and Kiara Hillier were delisted 3 days after the season ended, which came as a bit of a surprise how quickly we pulled the trigger in terms of, you know, we're obviously going to talk about this at the very end, but we're coming into a trade period. You probably want as much trade fodder as you can get. Now I'm not so sure. But also, the thing that happened the day after the announcement of the delistings made it even weirder. and that was the
We don't have a
biggest.
coach.
We don't have a coach, so I just can't even imagine how disarming it would be to get delisted, and then the guy that delisted you the next day is like, "Well, I'm actually out of here." So,
Yeah, I think we need to talk about the Scotty Ghost ones a bit because I think, well, Kiara Hillier didn't play a game this
yeah,
season and Giselle was sort of in and out. It came as a shock to me. I was like, why not keep her and get like a fourth round draft pick in for her anyway? Kiara, I get
yeah,
she probably had no trade value in that sense, given we never saw her play footy. Let's be honest.
yeah,
She had the concussion at the start of the year, and then was like I think her and Imogen Brown were the two players that didn't play a game this year.
and Maddie Collier because she
Well,
didn't
Maddie
really.
was injured, and we love Maddie, and
Yeah,
Maddie's also retired as well. So there's four players that are not on our list. But yeah, we talked about it on the Monday show that we could understand because there were a few people calling for Scotty's head. And we're like, well, we could understand that when your KPI was finals and you don't make finals, we could understand if there was a parting of the ways. And I thought, well, maybe one more year in 2026, if we didn't make finals, would be the end of Scotty. But a decision was made. The way that it was worded was very interesting. The reaction was what was even more interesting for
yes,
mine.
for yours, Alex. Yeah, I have to agree. The lack of goodbyes from the players
What do you mean
was
lack? There was none.
none. Was very odd, especially considering from an outsider's perspective, we thought the girls had a pretty good relationship with Scotty. Most of them respected him and liked him, but obviously something's happened this year, and I don't think it's anything particularly bad. I think it's just a sometimes you don't get on with the manager, and that happens. And I think that's what
Yeah.
this situation is. And I am kind of in two minds about it. Obviously, I think if it's not working, it's not working. Get them out of there. I don't like the getting rid of him and having absolutely no one. That's scared. Like that's where I kind of go into it.
Yeah.
It's an
I'm try-
interesting one
Yeah, I'm
because
trying.
I, as a Swans fan, and I'm sure you're similar, have not really experienced this. It would be like Paul Roos would be the closest
Rodney.
equivalent to.
Oh, yeah, I was about to say, well, Rodney got sacked in the 2004 when we were going a bit terribly after some
Yeah,
good
and
years
then
with
Paul
Rocket.
Roos came in.
And then, well,
That's
no,
what I was thinking.
so you missed the whole thing. There was Terry Wallace was going to get the job because Roosie had done, I'm pretty
He
sure.
was pretty young. Yeah.
Well, no,
I don't
Roosie
think-
had done like the interim role during the year, but Terry Wallace was going to get the job. It was done. Basically, there was a fan protest and a revolt because it's like Terry Wallace had been at Richmond and the Western Bulldogs, or he went to one of them after. He'd been at one of them. I was like 10. Give me a break.
Yeah.
Wherever he was leaving, I think he was leaving the Dogs. The fans were just basically like, "No, fuck no, we don't want Terry Wallace. Why would we want that loser? He doesn't want shit. We want our guy. We want Roosie."
Yeah.
And it worked out wonderfully because Terry Wallace, I don't think, would have been a good appointment at the time anyway. I'm pretty sure he
No.
was at the Dogs. And then he ended up at Richmond. But it ended up well for us. But yeah, it would have been like it kind of actually, in a sense, Horse losing the grand final and retiring at the start of this year as well. But
Yes.
we'd had
If
12
there-
years of Horse and we'd been successful. But obviously, Horse
And
obviously
Coxie
had.
was there, and we knew, like,
Yeah.
basically everyone knew as soon as Horse said called
Yeah.
it quit,
It's-
Coxie was going to step up.
Yeah, it was almost as if we didn't have a Coxie and Horse just went, yeah, peace, I'm out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
'cause
very similar.
it's very EPL NFL coded. It's like, all right, you haven't hit what we need to do, get out. Like, it does seem wild to me that you have to look at what players have either said or have not said. And I'm going to make this. So you look at GWS's coach. Their results are shit. But all the players are in the off-season, and every person I've asked and talked to absolutely love this bloke and love the vision that he's got and what they've got going forward. So they're going to stick with him for another year.
Yeah.
We've heard since Scotty left, we've heard nothing. Where he wasn't at the best and fairest last night. I'm assuming he's not going to be at the Swans best and fairest next week. Still available if you want to give me a ticket and fly me to Sydney. Anyone? Hello, I'm free. My fiance will be in Switzerland. I have nothing to do.
Me
and
too.
Polly lives in Sydney.
Yeah, so you have to pay for extra shit.
Yeah, it's so they love him. Obviously, Doc Clark has now left Adelaide. And then you've got Mixtoneer leaving his role as well, and the outcry and pouring out of emotions there. Not one player at the Swans has said anything. And
Yeah, and I don't remember seeing much about the Geelong coach leaving either. I could be wrong about
I don't
that.
follow any Geelong players,
Yeah,
in
me
fairness.
either. So I'm not 100% sure, but it is kind of a similar vibe.
The
Like,
D's coach is going to end up at Geelong, by the way,
yeah,
everyone. That's
yeah,
like done because he
yeah.
lives down at Geelong.
I think he was just waiting to see if they would
Yeah.
give him the job. But
And
but yeah,
with this, so
so
from what I'm trying to, I know some stuff. I can't say everything.
yeah, there's a lot of stuff in the air. There's been a
No
lot of
one's put
lists
it this
goes
way. No one's neither party is disappointed that this has ended. That's probably
Yeah,
the best way to put it. Everyone's happy that they went as far as they could with each other. It's a professional relationship that's ended amicably before it could get toxic.
yep.
They've shaken hands. They've gone their separate ways. I'm
Which
assuming.
is what we expect
Yeah.
from our club. Like that's the kind of way we operate.
Yeah.
We don't let things get bad and fester. So I'm honestly like I'm fine with it. Was obviously initially a shock because I was in a meeting, had to message the boys, can you please get something up because I literally can't do anything right now. But it's moved on. Again, the biggest sort of oh my god to me is just not necessarily having someone ready. The not like we've obviously talked about it, me and Alex, a fair amount in the past couple of weeks because we don't have a coach and we're coming into trade period. And I think for a lot of the girls
I'll
across
take
the
over for
league,
trade period. I can do trade period. I know what I'm going to do for trade
yeah.
period.
So I think a lot of the girls, if from my perspective, kind of sometimes choose clubs based on the coach and based on the relationship they can build with the coach, and not having someone there, it is concerning coming to trade period. I'm hoping we announce someone before then. We'll have to wait and see. And we'll talk about this a bit more in the trade period section. And there are a few names floating around for the now 4 clubs that don't have a coach, going to be probably 5. It's going to be a big trade period for coaches, really. So it'll be
Yeah.
interesting to see what happens. I don't really have that many thoughts about who's coming in yet. I just want someone that's going to respect the girls, and I do trust the judgment of the people on the top because Horse was great, Coxie's great, Scotty was great for the 4 years that we had him for. It is what it is, and hopefully we put us in a better position for next year.
Yeah, and we're getting to the stage. Obviously, grand finals this week. Trade periods when I'm in Hong Kong, right? That was the same as last year. You were texting me that we were starting to do shit and hadn't done stuff when I was in Hong Kong.
I think it's next week.
Yeah,
starts.
okay. I go to Hong
Sorry,
Kong
I think
weeks.
I think it's like the last day will be while you're in Hong Kong, but the opening few days you'll still be here for, I think.
Yeah, right. So there's a like we haven't heard anything about any Swans players wanting to leave. It just seems like we will be dealing with our picks, and I suppose that's more that we can get to later. I think I want to get back to the Scotty leaving part.
Yeah.
I thought about it for a few days because, lucky enough, I've got a platform. My job is stupid. My life is stupid. It's amazing that I get to talk about this, and I've got to know people and talk to a few people about different things about this, and thought about it. I sort of got my piece out there and bounced it off a few people. I get it. I'm actually happy about it because I think some decisions that were made from round 5 onwards were not good enough.
Yeah.
And if you want to take yourself seriously as a brand and as a team that is trying to build something to play finals, if I'm Pav, if I'm the head of footy, Kate, and I'm looking at that, and it wouldn't have been a win or lose to Essendon, you lose your job type of thing,
I feel like that was probably the line in the sand, though.
but
Or they
lose-
kind of gave him
yeah.
an ultimatum kind of thing, like, do you think you can take this any further?
Yeah.
And I have a feeling he probably said no.
And I think with that, yeah. So that losing to Essendon was probably like, not a straw that broke the camel's back, but it was also like, okay, nothing happened there.
You need to instill us with a lot of confidence right now in your
Yeah.
exit meeting, essentially, that you're
Yeah.
going to be able to take us to the finals and hopefully beyond by the end of your contract in
Yeah.
2027. And I don't think you could guarantee that.
So I'll get my major grievance out of the way early. In the first 4 rounds of the competition, Chloe Malou was the number 1 player in the AFL for possessions leading to scores. What happened in round 5, 6, 7, and 8, Polly?
We lost.
She didn't get near the fucking football.
Yeah.
She stayed in the forward line.
Granted,
Yeah, we lost.
I think that's when her back did start to flare up. But yeah, I do understand what you're saying.
Round 7. About
Yeah.
round 7. A couple of weeks before that, but hardly near the football, taken away from that. Yes. And this was at a time where we had injuries and we were struggling to get the football forward. Why not put your best player in and around the football to get it forward, to give players like, the Hamiltons and Holly Cooper to get their hands on the footy to put it through the goals? Because we saw throughout the year, they could put it through the sticks.
Yeah.
Chloe Malloy was the number one player leading from possessions to scores. Like, not score involvements, but possession change that led to scores. And we took that away.
Yeah, it's very strange.
Don't get it.
Especially like the dropping of Priv and Davy, like not play Davies till the very end of the season. You have two players here who, one is like one of the most well-known key forwards in the competition and has been since the start of the series. And the other one is an up-and-coming player in that position, and you're just choosing not to play them, and instead you're playing Chloe forward. It was a really bizarre choice, and I think as well the biggest glaring thing was him not being able to find a way to combat the really bad teams.
Yeah, and that was the thing. There was no response to pressure when we had an extra player around the footy and we didn't know what to do. And that was the thing that sort of got me. It's like, you know what the game plan is going to be. How are you not finding a way to combat this? And then how are we somehow always not having the spare man and over the spare person and overloading on the possessions and building up through that? It seemed like if we were what Carlton were, if we didn't get the game on our terms, we were shit.
Yeah.
Carlton didn't get the game on their terms, didn't start well. They were shit.
Yeah.
And that was the big thing for me throughout the year, that we knew what GWS, what Collingwood, what the Essendon were going to do. The one day we actually got it right was our game plan against Adelaide was awesome. We played fantastic.
Yeah.
It was just, there was too many things that went wrong there. There was too many decisions that were made with tactics throughout games as well that weren't, not that we froze up. We just didn't make the right decisions, or we didn't make any decisions. And at the end of the day, you lose. I figured it out. It was 11 points have cost us 3 games.
Yeah. In 3 games, we'd finished top 4.
And a few of the players that I talked to are they are devastated. They're like, yeah, we probably should have been in a prelim, because they're like, well, we would have won the first week and we would have backed ourselves to knock off whoever we had to play, give it a be at Hawthorn.
Yeah.
It's an opportunity missed.
It is. It's devastating, because I don't think we've ever been in a position like this as Swans fans. Like, we rarely miss finals just as a club at all. And the times we missed finals as a W unit made sense.
Yeah.
And so this really just feels different. And I'm glad that the admin can see how different it is and have made the way they've worded it is mutual, but they've obviously said to him, do you want to keep doing this, because we might look elsewhere? And he said no. And it's good to see we're not doing that stupid shit that we've done for the last, 10 years of, oh, well, it nearly worked, so we're going to keep trying it again. No, we're trying something different. And I'm really good at, I'm just, as long as it's not fucking Daniel Harford, I don't really care who the coach is. I have said to many people, if we get him, which I don't think we will, but if we did, I would stop supporting the Swans. That's how much I hate that guy.
From what I know, it's not going to be him.
Yeah, no, I don't think he's even going to get any of the coaching roles, but he keeps putting his hand up for them, and everyone's like,
is he putting his hand up, or is he just getting mentioned? Like,
I don't know, but he was the first one mentioned when the coach sacking sort of started to fall through. Just to confirm, trade period is from next Thursday till the following Wednesday, so the 4th till the 10th.
Okay, so I missed 2 days of it. Got it. All right, so I can go crazy like a maniac next week. So
yeah,
so that means, all right, so I've got to wait 5 days to get the Taylor Smith trade request. Got it.
Yeah,
can't wait.
But after the dust had settled,
and final
Scotty
point.
leaving,
I do think that he got everything he could have out of this group. We wouldn't have gone further with him.
Yeah, I agree. And I will never ever have bad blood to him because
No,
one of my
shit, no.
all-time favorite Swans moments was the elimination final on the Gold Coast that we won in 2023. That will forever be one of my top moments, and he is the reason we got there. So I
And
will
the
never
bloke
hold
clearly
bad blood
knows
to him.
ball. Let's
Yeah.
as a deep cut, he was the dude that picked Ash Riddell.
Ash Riddell. Yeah.
Like, just one of the best and fairest of the league. Was
Fairest.
looked over in 2 drafts, and he's just like, I'm gonna pick her.
Yeah.
He knows ball. Scotty
And
knows
he-
ball.
Clearly has so Marnie spoke about this when it first came out, where she was like, it's a bit of a shock because you don't have many of the women's coaches that genuinely seem to understand women's football as opposed to football as a whole. And
Yeah.
I have always agreed with that. It always seemed like he genuinely cared more about women's football than he did about football, which I think you need to, and still in a league in its infancy and with players that haven't played football their entire life, you do need to be like that.
Yeah.
And
So that's the guy whose name I forgot. The guy that's going to get the Adelaide job is a guy that started up the Southport Sharks women's team in 2020.
yeah,
And then he's been an assistant coach at Brisbane for the last 2 years. So
Yeah.
basically the new rule is go find whoever's been assistants to Starcevic, or maybe go and find someone who's been assistants to Doc Clark
Simon.
or Crocker. Just go get them.
yeah. And this is the last thing I'll say about it. The most anecdotal evidence of this is in women's round ball football. You see the same, I want to say 6 head coaches that bounce around the big teams. And that is because it's been proven time and time again that they actually are doing this because they care about women's football, not because they're using it as a jumping off point to go work in the men's. And I think that's the
but
biggest
fuck
thing you need to
Jonas
find in a
Edamalo.
coach.
Fuck that guy.
I was thinking of Joe Montemero, but
Oh, yeah,
still.
we love Joe. Hey, Arsenal legend.
Yeah.
Like, except for, fuck Jonas. Screw that guy.
Yeah.
This is a
No,
big
no one
Renee,
likes him. No
big
one,
Renee
everyone loves
Slager's
Renee.
podcast.
Yes.
I mean, even
But-
though Renee's going kind of shit at the moment.
Hey,
Anyway,
look, they
no,
won the Champions League. Who cares? You're allowed to have
Champions
it
of
down here.
Europe, you'll never see
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
That's right. But after the dust had settled about Scotty leaving, we did have some awards because it is award season, or it was, I guess. Alex is already preempting. The very first one was the 22 under 22, which we did have 5 girls nominated in. We had Ali, Holly, Mon, Zip, and Cynthia Hamilton.
Ah,
The only 2 that made it
blew
were,
my mind that Cynthia Hamilton's 22.
was
by
under
the way.
22. I know. Same with
Yeah.
Ali, honestly.
I knew that. I knew she was 22.
Yeah, the only 2 that made it in the end were Montana Ham and Zippy Fish. I do think that Cynthia Hamilton and Ali should have easily made that team. I could have made a case for Holly Cooper too. It's also a fan voted thing, so I don't know where all the Swans fans were. I told you guys to vote in it. So anyway,
I think I didn't do mine as a bias fan. I did mine as a legitimate thing.
I think you might have had Holly not in it from
Yeah.
memory. Yeah.
My bad. Sorry, sorry, Team Cooper.
Hey, look, she has another couple years where she can get into that team. So.
And I'll be honest, I had Ella Roberts as captain.
Yeah. Well, I mean, who's shocked by that?
No one.
Absolutely no one. But then we moved into the All-Australian season, and we had 3 girls be named in the All-Australian squad. We had our old reliable Laura Gardner, Montana Ham again, and Zippy Fish again, and as of last night, none of the girls made the final team, which is...
Montana Ham, I can understand the drop
Yep.
off in the back half of the season.
Yep.
Completely get it. Her first
Yep.
4 rounds, she's starting midfielder.
Yeah. Laura Gardner, which we'll touch on later, finished 5th in the best and fairest and did not make the All-Australian team. I am so glad she didn't go yesterday. Can I just say that? Like,
Yeah.
be petty. Be petty about it because it doesn't make any sense. It literally does not make any sense. All year we were talking about how she is the second highest for disposals or something. I can't remember exactly what.
She was for the season, she was number 2 in disposals, number 4 in tackles, and number 4 in contested possessions.
Yeah.
And she didn't make the All-Australian team.
We didn't have a single player. And you know what makes me even more mad? There was a fucking Giant and a fucking Suns player.
So
and the
that-
Suns player,
I went and looked at Cambridge McCormack, the Giants player.
look, she was very good.
She's 2025. She's the 2025 version of Brenna from last year.
Yeah.
Just a little bit
Look,
taller.
fine.
So
Fine.
we can tick that. Took a
Neve-
lot of intercept marks.
Neve McLaughlin, I think is her name,
That's how you say it.
had basically the exact same stat line as Zippy. Why the hell are you picking the Sun over the team that came ninth? I'm sorry, you're picking the team with the lowest percentage in history, so that means you are a terrible defensive team over a team who had a fantastic defensive year. I just don't get it.
It's also very funny that the best defender in the competition didn't get picked either, Libby
Yeah.
Birch. Because I saw a good graph, like one of those stat ones floating around today. So Libby Birch hasn't made it because the ball never went in North Melbourne's defensive 50
and I can
all year.
understand that. I get it.
It was like a chart,
Yeah.
and it's like North Melbourne down. If you're watching the video, like down here, Gold Coast is inside 50s, like right up here, and the Swans somewhere in the middle. It's like, well, no wonder Neve McLaughlin's numbers look good because the ball was in there 75 times a game.
And if you look at their stats, it's almost comparable, except Zippy made 1 million more tackles. I genuinely, and I'm going to start a conspiracy, knew that Montana Ham was going to win Goal of the Year and Zippy was going to win Rising Star. And they were like, well, they've already got those 2 awards wrapped up. We won't put them in the All-Australian.
Oh, I've got the team here. Let's get angry. Let me get angry at this. Also, they picked 2 rucks for the first time ever, so like Brodie Grundy can be really annoyed as well.
Also, I would be shitty if I was Ali. She had a better year than at least one of those rocks.
Matilda Schultz was definitely the best ruckman. But Matilda Schultz should have been in there.
In the starting ruck. I don't understand why she was on the bench.
Yeah, they didn't need to pick Mimstrom. Like Mimstrom had one good game this year that I remember.
There was like 4 Freo players.
So Gab Newton making it over Zippy Fish or Laura Gardner is fucking wild. Bogue making it makes 100% sense.
Yeah.
I honestly thought Georgie Prespakis had a beyond average year. Now, if we're going to talk about players who butcher the football, if you mention Laura Gardner, Georgie Prespakis does that more often.
How she came second,
I can't complain too much.
Beyond me.
I can't complain too much about Meave Chaplin, Jennifer Dunn, Serene Watson, and Harriet Cordner because in the team that I sent you, I had them all in there. There was 4 rogue ones that I didn't have in there. Aine McDonough was one of them.
I can understand though. We were talking about. Yeah. I don't know if you're just now offer because she's
not at all. No. This was I honestly forgotten about that, to be honest. I was like, oh yeah, she's a trade target. No, it was more that Hawthorn was so shit offensively this year. And she still saw a lot of the footy but didn't do much. I do love that Talia Randall made it. I know her partner quite well. Love that she's made it because she's such a good player and such a nice person.
Yeah.
She deserves
Honestly,
it.
I sent it to you straight away last night. The forward line, I did not have an issue with. And even the back line, I was like, okay, sure. The midfield I had an issue with and the bench I had an issue with. Again, the
big issues I've got are Newton and McLaughlin. They're my 2 issues.
The rule of thumb with the All-Australian is if you are going to make a case for a reason for someone to be in, you need to say who's coming out. And we just told you. Those 2 come out and Laura and Zippy should be in.
It is very funny, though, you look at it. So North had 4 in there, which is just funny that they've only got 4 in there.
Honestly, it should have just been a Northless team and make them play each other. That's what I want to see.
Geelong had Prespakis, which in the end makes sense, but like Port Adelaide have 2. Freo had 2. But I wouldn't have had either of them, to be honest. They finished, 14th or something? Yeah. And Hawthorn finished second on the ladder and only one of their players gets in. It's
very... And then the Crows didn't get anyone. Which I would have easily had Neve Kelly in there. Neve Kelly, sorry.
You would have just had that in that day because she tore us apart.
No, but she was she was easily their best player of the year.
Anyway. Go to the social media graphic of the team, people, by the way, if you want to see how petty certain people are. I'm not going to say names, but just go look. It's very funny.
Also, is this a W thing? Why are the followers... If you look at the graphics, why are the followers in the middle of the field?
The graphic confused me. I'm looking at the team. I've got a team line up here and it makes me feel sane.
Because I was looking at it and I was like, the followers are just above the bench when you're making a graphic of an AFL team. Like, what has happened here? Anyway, it doesn't really matter. That also annoyed me. But after Alex and I overcame our anger with the Australian squad, and that was so rushed, by the way. This was my other take from the night. We're now at the point where we need to separate the awards. the All Australian was so rushed. The thing I love about the All Australian is the interviews you get with the players between the announcements. I have such a core memory of O'Driscoll when she got her blazer being like, well, my brothers may be better than me, but I'm the first one in the family to get a blazer, so I will hold them over them forever. Like, it's stuff like that which makes the awards night great, and we just didn't have any of that really. So I feel like we're now at a point where we need to separate the awards, and also the Brisbane players miss out on the photo. They're just not in the All-Australian photo, which is so stupid. So anyway, that's a whole other tangent.
Oh, side note, Jade Ellinger should have been in the team too. Like the position she plays in is one of the toughest positions in the league. She killed it throughout the year. She's a friend of the pod. Friend of the
Doesn't
pod
matter.
for family reasons. She was in my team that I picked at the end of the season. So
it was I. But after we moved on from that, we did have some anxiety in our heart, Alex, because she didn't make the All-Australian. And because we know my biggest gripe with the AFLW media is how much recency bias they bring to the table. And so we had this fear that a certain Carlton player was going to win the Rising
Star. A certain small forward Carlton player.
Yeah.
If Poppy Schultz won, Poppy Schultz rules. I love Poppy Schultz.
Yeah, I would have been annoyed still, but I would have been okay. But our girl, Zippy Fish, as she rightfully should be, is officially a starfish. She was the rising star, a perfect 50 out of 50, as she should have been.
As someone who may have won the award in 2018 said to me, only the good ones get 50 from 50.
Exactly right. And I think the thing was the entire AFL community, even the Carlton fans were like, yeah, obviously it's Zippy.
Yeah.
We just know what the AFL media is like. And we were
the voting was done after the last round. So there was no chance of any recency bias. So the votes were locked in 3.5 weeks ago. Yeah. We were good.
Yeah. The next closest vote was 23 votes. That was Painter and I think Schultz.
Actually, that was my thing. How Havana Harris didn't run second was wild to me.
Yeah. I guess, look, West Coast had a good year, so they would.
Havana Harris led her team's goal kicking, and she played midfield forward.
A lot of the awards didn't make sense, but another one that did make sense was Montana Ham won goal of the year.
Good effort, team. This is a team effort.
This is all on Alex. Alex can take full credit for this.
Bullshit.
Or I don't know, whoever came up with this, because I did not have a say. I was like, you tell me who to vote for, and I will vote for them. I
was led into voting for Montana.
Okay.
I was ready to go Team Malloy because C Malloy needed to win something. But yeah, I was led to vote for Montana, and we did the team thing. It got put in all the Swans group chats that we have. Everyone vote for Montana. I'd love to see the voting percentages because anytime it's like a Swans player's up for an award on social media, like players play throughout the year, Swans players won it 7 times. It was bloody insane.
We're the equivalent of the Adelaide fans.
Yeah, the Adelaide, what is it? The goal of the year person, and they still didn't win it.
They didn't even get a nomination in the...
They didn't deserve anyway. No, but yeah, that was... I'd love to see the voting percentages. What I did love that no one referenced in any of the funny stuff was Chloe going, hey, 50-50. We talked about this, 50-50.
I was trying to get the video up to get footage of it.
Chloe's saying, 50-50 because 25 grand and 1 million velocity points each. I mean, that kind of works.
Poor old Cynthia, though. She was still my goal of the year. That will be an all-time highlight for me.
The funny thing is if Montana Ham's year went the way it probably should have, she could have had all 3 nominations. And it's like, which Montana Ham girl is going to win it?
Yeah, she did that so many times. Most of them. I did like in the speech, she goes, look, my goal kicking was not the best this year, but it was nice to get a couple of them.
Yeah,
yes, at least she's self-aware.
Yes. God bless you, Queen. You're self-aware. Buy your lovely mother a trip to Europe with your money.
Yes. And then last and certainly not least, our girl, as we mentioned before, came 5th in the best and fairest. Again, didn't make the All-Australian team, but it is great to see that she got the same amount of points as Jazz Garner. I think that says it.
Jazz Garner missed 2 games, though.
Missed 1 game.
Was it 1 in the end? Shit.
I double-checked because I was trying to figure out, because there was a chance where they were going to be neck and neck, I thought, before the counting started. And I double-checked, and she'd only played 1 less game than Ash Riddell this year.
So the funny thing is that Jazz Garner had a game where she had 34 and kicked 2 and didn't get a vote. And then Ash Riddell had 2 games where she got 89 disposals and didn't get a vote in either. She didn't get a vote in the game against us where she had 45 and was quite clearly the best player on the ground.
But Zippy got a vote in that game and she deserved it. So I'm fine with that.
It was like you just bump out Erica O'Shea for Riddell and we're good.
Riddell, yeah.
It was
but,
for those who took the $5 Ash Riddell after round 2. Oh, it was a stressful watch. It was a stressful watch for me.
Yeah, because I don't necessarily. There was one person in that top 5 that I didn't necessarily agree with. Let's just put it that way. But she's going to be still a fantastic player. I just didn't think she was the second best player of the year. It is literally just because you see her going past. Yeah. And that's fine because that's part of the whole getting the umpires to vote.
Maybe Laura Gardner needs to wear pink boots and headgear because
I'm like, Laura, with time to dye the hair pink.
Yeah, like
dye hair red. Do something
like look at all the long sleevers or the woolly hair people. Like Georgie Prasparkas has woolly hair; it's everywhere, and she wears long sleeves. Like it's bloody noticeable.
Yeah,
it's a conspiracy, damn it.
The last thing that I'm going to bring up in this section because I thought this was really exciting and it's a nice thing to finish on. Yesterday was the New South Wales Sports Awards and the Sydney Derby, the W Derby, won Event of the Year, which is so exciting. The attendance of that game, if people don't remember, was set at 7,171 and it just feels so good. And I put here to remind myself, I was scrolling through some old tweets the other day and I found that the original membership numbers for our W team was 7,757. So we nearly just at one game overtook our membership numbers from the first year. And I think a big shout out goes to everyone that turned up to that game, even though the result didn't go our way. It was still a fantastic day and it's so great to see what the W is doing in Sydney. I have relished making fun of Melbourne-based people because they absolutely do not care enough about the W, whereas we do, and it is fantastic to be rewarded for that. Also, that's the game where I toss the coin, so I guess that makes me an award-winning coin tosser.
It does make you an award-winning tosser.
I think we'll leave this part there. That's a good thing to end on. Before we jump into the next section, I am going to very quickly shout out people who I don't love shouting out. It's the other two doofuses from this podcast. They next week have a very, very special interview with list management god Chris Keane. They're going to go over all the trade stuff, all the draft stuff. Recording next week. Will be out on Wednesday, but this is going to be a YouTube exclusive. So get over to your YouTube now, subscribe because it's going to be only on YouTube for a week. So if you want to watch it, that's where you can watch it. Also, every episode has a video. So if you prefer a video podcast, go and watch it over there and subscribe. But that pretty much wraps up everything that's happened since the last time we recorded. And we'll be right back with a full-on review.
This is True Bloods, and we are back to review this season. Why am I doing this to myself? Honestly, Polly, why are you making me do this?
We've made it as little talking about the bad stuff as possible, really. Not to be happy clappers, but it's more of a moving forward kind of review.
And it's also our podcast, so we can do what we want. Yeah,
exactly right. If you don't want to hear us talk about the players, then, I don't know, skip to the end where we talk about trades. But instead of doing
might have to put chapters up on your Spotify.
Yeah, I might have to do that. Instead of what we did last year, we went player by player and reviewed everyone's season. We are not going to do that this year because, one, it took forever, and two, it doesn't feel as like it was worth. We kind of would say the same things over and over again. So to start, we've broken this down into categories. We're going to go through our top fives for certain things and do it that way. If other things come up in this time, other things come up in this time, but it's going to be more structured like that. So the very first thing, Alex, was our top 5 players of the year.
Yeah. So I did mine. I know I can see the run sheet and we're kind of similar. If you missed more than 3 games, you weren't allowed to be in the top 5 players of the year because the best type of ability is availability. Love you, Chloe. You missed more than 3 games.
So, our list is very similar. Our top 2 is the same. So we both had LG and Zip, which I think is pretty self-explanatory. Yeah, they both had the best years.
Fairly
and
easy.
There's probably a little bit of like bias with Zip of it is her first year and how the hell did you even perform like that in your first year of football? But even if it wasn't her first year, I think we would still have her in the top 4.
It'd be the same. Like if I was a Carlton fan, I reckon Poppy Schultz and Sophie McKay would end up in my top 5 as well.
Yeah.
like it's a hotter field, as in like better contested.
Mm.
But I think with ours, I think my top six were fairly obvious
Yeah,
because
agreed.
I would have had Chloe sixth in fairness.
I'm surprised. Okay, so there's one person on my list who I'm surprised isn't in your top six, but the one who is in yours that isn't in mine was my sixth person, and
Okay.
then the seventh. So we had LG and Zip, then I had Kennedy, you had Morfitt.
Yep.
Tanya, seriously, like I think because she hasn't been up for any awards, I haven't thought about her season as a whole
It's
really that much.
insanely good.
Insanely good. Like I like underrated significantly of how good she was this season. She could even win. Like normally we have breakout player awards, and that is one of the awards we're going to do. But she could win that because of just how much better she keeps getting.
Yeah.
Like I just like I unbelievably good, unbelievably good. I can't fault her really at all. Like I
No.
mean, and as we always say, she's the best player when she's not thinking, and so maybe some of those moments when she doesn't have the best moment is because she's thinking too much. But she carried us on her back a lot of the time, and it is these top. I'm going to say seven. We could probably stretch out to nine players that carried us throughout the season.
Yep. Yeah, no, I thought her season was phenomenal. I put Ali ahead of her because there are a couple of games that Ali just went that level above. Like against
Mm.
Geelong when she was taking those intercept marks and she really stood up and got the job done. The battle royale she had against Mim Strom. There was in the game against Carlton. There was just so many times that it was just like, oh, holy shit, you're a good
Yeah,
footballer. And it was if we can see a season of that football, oh my god, we're in for a good
yes.
year. And
That's
so TK was my fourth after having Ali third. But I
yeah,
thought TK went to a level I didn't know. I was the fanboy last year.
yeah.
I didn't know she had this level in her. If that's her third season of footy, what's she going to be like in season four?
Hopefully we get a lot more seasons out of her because she is
Yeah.
our oldest player
Also,
now.
can you go back to fucking Ireland and get some recruiting done?
To be fair, she's lived
Seriously.
here for 10 years. That's not her job. That's Joss
Go
and
to go
McCarthy's
to the
job.
Coogee Bay Hotel and be like, hey, anyone know how to kick a footy?
I was just going to say about Ali, that was the only reason I didn't have her in my top five was I did think she was too inconsistent this year. She was either the best player on the field or had just a very, very average game. And yes, she's still very young. That's going to come into her game style. It's fine. But I don't have her in my top five for that specific reason.
Yep.
But my number four was Cynthia Hamilton, which is someone who's not on your list, and I'm shocked
No.
by. I, from a vibes perspective, we know she is the vibe bringer. She is adds so much value to our team. I still, in my heart of hearts, think if she was fit for that Essendon game, we win. Again, that's not her fault. But she took things to a new level this year, and there are so many times when we were down and out, and she kicked a goal or got into the midfield where it just turned us around. And being the barometer is such a huge role within a team, and I'm so glad we have her to do that.
Yeah. It was I thought that her start of the season was good and then she drifted in and out of a lot of games. And I also think that that did come down to how we set up structurally and some of the
Yeah,
decisions that were made.
yeah,
So that's why I've got her just missing out.
yeah. But your
Uh,
five was
my fifth was my favorite left footer who wears black boots, stands tall in defense.
I was gonna say, yeah, I guess you do like her more than Braden Campbell. So
No, I love Brady Campbell.
no, but you also love Alice Mitchell. So
Yeah, I do.
they
I
also
do.
play. I'm pretty well. She was also training with the Pennant Hills team, so very similar vibes between those two.
Yeah. Boo Pennant Hills. Go the dogs. Yeah, Alice Mitchell. I thought she was phenomenal. I thought she was a player that was stiff not to get a All Australian squad list.
Yeah.
Clearly not good enough to be in the team this year. I thought she was fantastic. She was one of the only players in the competition that was able to deal with Poppy Schultz once she went forward this year. Poppy Schultz went forward in the third quarter. In the second quarter, kicked a couple of goals, and we're like, oh, switch Brenner around. She had one more touch for the game. One more touch in 2.5 quarters of football.
Yeah, yeah. She would be my seventh player. Like we talked about her all year. She was so good and completely underrated. But I do think our entire defensive line was completely underrated this year. So that's not really that surprising. But she was a big reason why our defensive line was so good. And so, yeah, it's fantastic to see as someone who was kind of very middling of the pack in our team
On the
last year,
fringes.
on the fringes, yeah, to really stake her claim and stake her spot. And it's, yeah, and she's a Sydney girl, so we love it even more.
Yep.
And then my fifth, very unsurprising, very biased, don't care. It was Chloe Malloy.
My
Sorry,
close personal friend,
you
Chloe
can't
Malloy.
almost break the goals record and not get in my top five.
If she didn't miss those two sitters, she might have made it.
We obviously love Chloe very much, and it was very disheartening when she, had to be out for the rest of the season. I
Yeah.
think she missed 5 total games in the end or something
Sounds
like
about
that.
right. Yeah. She missed one, came back, and yeah.
Yeah.
Put it this way, the football world as a whole deserves a fully fit Chloe Malloy season.
Yes.
Chloe Malloy, as the human that we know, as the captain of our club, deserves a season of full fitness.
Yeah.
Because the things that she's done for this club behind the scenes, fucking phenomenal.
Yeah.
The things that
It's
she does
unmanageable.
when facing front and facing the media, you've seen that. There's a lot more that goes on that you don't know about this person. Whatever you think of her, triple it.
Yeah. She's fantastic.
She's that good. We couldn't have a better leader.
No. And we are so thankful to have her at our club. And I would support her no matter what club she was at, which is proof by the fact she was my favorite player when she was at Collingwood, and I hate Collingwood.
Yeah.
So, but the fact that we get to say she's our captain is
When she captains us
something
to a
special.
flag in 2027, I'm getting a statue built.
I mean, I already want one built, so
Yeah, I think we need to
rename-
win the flag. She
Yeah.
needs to lead us to a flag.
and then rename whatever stand they're rebuilding at Henson to the Chloe Malloy stand.
fuck
as
that.
well.
Just rename the Barongal stand to the Chloe Malloy stand. Just
Sure.
Deeb-
I mean, they never play
just
there,
so
but
Deebs can
it's
pronounce it.
fine.
Yeah.
But those were our top 5 players. As we said, this could easily fall out to 10. I think there were 10 players-ish.
If
that carried us
Sophia
on the
Hurley was
shoulders.
fit all season, she would have been number 1 in my view.
Yeah, agreed. Very much vibes of, I say this all the time, Errol, like, it's the same sort. She had the same sort of season. The games where she played, she was fantastic, but had to miss a lot of the season due to injury. And again, she was our club champion last year. So losing your club champion that early in the season is obviously devastating. And hopefully we have a fully fit Soph next year. That's the dream. That's the goal. Actually, just fully fit everyone. Fully fit
Yeah.
team. We're not going to lose any more players to injuries. We're not going to see any more ACLs. Nothing. It's going to be a proper fit year. But that takes us into our breakout stars. And this, Alex, I did not talk about what that meant. To me, breakout doesn't necessarily mean first year player. It just means this is the first year that they really sort of came into their own and looked really good. I think Alex kind of interpreted it the same way.
I took, if I think you're a child, I haven't looked at ages. You're involved in this. If you're old, if you're older, you weren't getting a gig. So this is why, like Lulu,
Or Jazz.
or Jazz, or Darcy. Yeah, even
Yeah.
though Darcy's like 23.
Yeah, Ash Bradley's 21.
Fuck off, really?
Yeah.
My bad, Ash. You should be in my list. I'm not
Yeah,
checking this.
yeah,
It's too
so
late. I thought you were like 25. That's my bad.
yeah, look, very unsurprising. Zippy was both our number ones. I don't think anyone's shocked by that. Just a freak of nature. Everyone, we talked about this on the very first episode of the year. I was very concerned that her name recognition was going to be an issue for her, and it would be very difficult for her to break in, and it would be a lot of nerves. No, it does not affect her. Does not affect her at all, and she's fantastic, and we cannot wait to see another season of Zippy.
Oh, I'm scared that we're only going to get 2 more years of her. I've got the feeling.
It is unfortunate timing with the CBA ending at the same time as her contract ends, but we cross that bridge when we get there.
Just mentally prepare yourselves for only 20 more games of the fish.
Yes.
If we play 3-5, 27, 30 more games of the fish when we play 3 finals, when we finish top 4 back-to-back years and win the next 2 flags. There you go.
Yeah.
In fairness, I think I've just got it wrong because I'm like, I just said if I think you're a child, but this was like Alice Mitchell's second season of footy and I've got her in there.
Yeah,
as number 2
Alice
for
is also
breakout.
like 24.
Why are these people so young? This is bullshit. Alice Mitchell's 24 years old. Oh my god.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm sorry, Ash family, and I thought you were much older than that.
She does like when she came to the club, I also thought she was older. She has mature
So
vibes about her.
it's Alice Mitchell's 4th season on our list. It's her 3rd year of footy.
Yeah,
and this
she
is
had
the first time she's played every game. So
Yeah.
yeah.
But your second breakout star was Alice Mitchell, who we already talked about, so we can kind of gloss over that. But again, fantastic year. My second was Ash Van Loo, which I
That's my
don't.
bad.
That look, I didn't give Alex much warning about what the topics were going to be. He kind of just winged it. So don't get too mad at him for not knowing people's ages. Yes, we're talking about the multicore enthusiast girl. I thought for someone who I had no expectations of for coming into the club, I was just like, yeah, okay, someone we got in trade of Ella leaving. Cool. I thought she was so pivotal to our defensive line. And the games where she didn't play, it was so obvious how much we needed her. She basically locked down Bonnie Toogood, which is not an easy feat. And just really excited to see her be in such an exciting defensive line. Like there were times where she was better than Brenna Tarrant. And I know Brenna Tarrant had a down year, but that is a big, big thing.
It is. And that's also good because being so young, you're obviously going to get better and you're obviously going to get some tougher roles as this competition goes on. Like, I assume that we'll finally play Port Adelaide next year. Again. I think we've played them once.
Yeah, in a very... No? Twice. Yeah, once, sorry. In the second...
Yeah, in the
second year.
Yeah, we played at Alberton, didn't we?
Yeah.
So I assume that we'll play them next year.
Yeah.
We're going to need good defenders to play Gemma, Indy, and Chelsea. Like,
yes.
Man, Port Adelaide fun. Side note, Ella Heads ran top 5 in their best and fairest.
How? I mean, she had a very good back end of the season.
Yeah, right? Wild. Anyway, so yeah, I just want to get that. We both had the same person third, which was pretty cool.
We did, which is Lara Hausiger. And coming into the season, we heard a lot of talking around the club that she was going to have a breakout year, and I do think she did. She was really, really good, and I think the best way I can describe it is commentators kept thinking she was Sophia Hurley. So if someone thinks you're Sophia Hurley, that is a pretty good sentiment in my eyes.
Yeah.
Really great to see. Like, I don't even know where I would necessarily say she plays. I guess she's technically in the defensive line, but I don't really think of her as playing there. Yeah. But really, just really, really good. Really, really good, solid. Like, just went about her business, got what she needed to do done. She never really made mistakes. So very, very happy with her season.
Yeah, no, very happy with what she did there. My next one, we get to number 4. Sarah Grundon. Which came in the team, I thought she was really good. I think she's set herself a position to play pretty much every game. If you have a look through her statistics, apart from like tackles, top career performances, every single one of them was this year.
That's really
kicks, handballs, tackles, goals, fantasy points, everything. Did everything.
That's really promising. And she came in because Sophia got injured, and so while I obviously don't think she's as good as Sophia Hurley because it's Sophia Hurley. She's 20 and she did enough to fill that gap.
Yeah, 100%. I thought she was really good. My shout-outs, I didn't have her because I know Nicola will yell at me about this. Shout out to Sarah Steele Park and her guns.
Yes, I mean, she only played one game, so it's hard to give her, maybe 2. So it's hard to include her in this. My number 4 was Alice. Again, we talked about her at length. Only reason I had her so far down is because I do think she's played a few more seasons than the rest of the girls. So I just gave her a little bit of a nudge down because, you know, she has more experience. And then we both had the same number 5, which was Miss Minnie Cooper, Holly Coops. Pretty average start to the season, but really, really good ending and incredibly accurate in front of goal.
Yes, exactly. Just phenomenal. Like low touch, high efficiency stuff. We need high touch, high efficiency into 2026. I think she got that little scare when she was dropped but wasn't dropped. So I think next year will be really good for Holly. Again, small, still as in literally a small human, but also very young, building her football tank. Next year she'll be better once again. But she's dangerous anywhere from 20 to 30 meters out in front of goal. Like that. Yeah,
you don't want to dealing her. Yeah, she can kick it from anywhere. So
that West Coast goal, holy moly!
Yeah, that should have been nominated for goal of the year. Anyway, And then so that's all of our breakout players. Again, I can't, like most of those, I'm very, very excited to see another season, and I think they're going to go to even better lengths next season. But then we get into our best games, and Alex and I both had the same best game, which is very nice because we were at this game together.
I mean, I'm biased. I was like, I'm choosing the game where we kicked the living shit out of someone, and I just enjoyed the hell out of my day. That was when we beat Carlton, and
Yeah.
I saw the point of the season when Montana Ham kicked a point, but I called the set play 5 seconds before it happened, so that's what made me feel even better about it. But yeah, from start to finish, Chloe Malloy kicking her 75th goal, everything just about that day was phenomenal. When we're like, oh, TK can't kick this, and then bombs it from 40. She kicked two. The defensive effort against the win in the last quarter to keep them scoreless, everything about that day, and it was also Pride Day, was just fucking wonderful for my first time at Henson in years.
It was such a lovely summation of what the W is about and how good it can be when it's really good. And hopefully we see more of that game style coming into next year, because I think not only was the day fantastic, we just did, like, it was such a good day. Like, it was such a good game. Like,
Yeah.
that was definitely not only the best vibes at Henson Park, it was only the best vibes at Henson Park, but also the best we'd played all year. And the other one that I had listed down was Adelaide, which I think we did, like, that was the probably next closest that we played really well. Obviously, that sucks because we just lost, and if one holding the ball was played correctly, we would have won. But
Or not a
besides the point.
put in the back to Anne Hatchard on 3/4 time siren. Anyway,
Yeah.
I didn't put the
Yeah.
Geelong game in there because we were shithouse for like about a third of
Yes.
it.
Yes.
It was very stressful, very fun.
But it was very fun to bring that back
Sophia Hurley
together.
getting 3 votes was awesome.
Yeah, that was sick. Except I feel like Ali should have got votes in that game and she didn't, which was a bit weird.
Did Georgia No, Maloney got votes, which was fair because Maloney was awesome.
Yes.
Kick 4.
Because you were like, if Georgia gets votes in this, and she didn't, but we were like, yeah, Maloney can have votes. So
I was getting ready to yell about Georgia Pasparkas getting votes there because she'd had like 18 touches and most of them were inefficient.
Yeah.
Oh, thank God.
Now, this is going to be a bit of a dampener, but we go into the worst game. Do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first?
You can go.
Yeah, okay, I'm just going the Essendon game. I don't remember another time I felt most heartbroken because of football.
I like how you were sad. I was angry. Really just...
Yeah. Which I think just sums up our friendship pretty solidly.
Yeah. Polly gets empathetic. I get pissed.
Yeah. I'm so glad I didn't go to this game because I was considering going to Coffs Harbour, but I was like, no. You know what? Save some money. Go to the finals. Never mind. But to lose in that style, to not be able to turn the game around, it was pissing down rain. It was somewhere where the girls don't, I think, love particularly playing. Like, it was just all around the worst vibes with the worst ending possible. And I hope to never see anything like that again. And also, people were able to use that as fodder for why the W sucks. And I don't like that we were involved, and our club was involved in that.
Do we not forget the Western Bulldogs and Hawthorn game? It was 14-10 in perfect conditions. It was just cold.
Yeah, look, they don't look at they just look at the numbers. They don't look at what the conditions were or anything along those lines. Yeah. They just go, oh, it was a really low scoring game. That means the W sucks.
So I'm not putting that as the worst game because of the conditions. That was pure conditions, that one. Losing the derby is quite clearly the worst one of the lot. Collingwood, I understood because I did say leading into that game, Collingwood were going much better than what I thought they were. But to lose to GWS after you hit the front in the final quarter, to give it up, to give it away, unforgivable.
Yeah.
Just,
yeah. And
it's losing to the fucking Giants who did
that's what gets me more than
season
anything.
to promote football.
It hurts so badly because of how much I cannot stand the Giants. And so for them to have that up on us for the rest of any time I give them shit, not that any of them actually care, sucks. But I still had such a good day that's the only reason I didn't have that down further was because Belly was in Sydney, all of the gang was at Henson Park, so I was obviously upset, but I wasn't like as upset as I was at the Essendon game because it was obviously devastating and we just needed to win that one to make finals. and I'm gonna keep coming back on that forever, I think. And the fact it was the Giants makes it even worse. But these are two games that had very, very, very similar game styles, and I really, really hope whoever the new coach is does not finds a way to combat that, because I don't really care how badly we played against Melbourne and North. I wouldn't even say we played that badly generally. They're just better teams than us. How we played against the worst teams was the biggest indictment on this season.
Yeah. It was.
Anyway, let's talk about some good stuff. So we'll go into our highlights. We've got 5 highlights each. My first highlight, I've talked about them a fair amount so far, but it is the entire defensive line. And the reason this is my number one highlight is because last year I came into this season going, we just need to get defenders in. Our defensive line is the worst part of our structure. This is where we need to improve. And we did. So I have to pick that as my number one because it's something that was very clearly a negative, and we've turned it into a positive. Bringing in Lulu, bringing in Jazz, bringing in Ash Van Loon, keeping Lara down there, Alice being down there, and then obviously Zippy, has just made this defensive line so infallible that we won games just based on the fact that that people couldn't score on us, or like Alice Mitchell is a goalkeeper for some reason. Like,
yeah, exactly.
They're the biggest tick for me this year, and now we just need to work on the other side of the field.
Yeah, number one for me, round one Zippy Fish. We thought it was going to be good. It was better, and then it still got even better.
Yeah.
I did enjoy, because the game was over towards the end, how basically everyone's like, yes, please get that record, girl. Go and get that. We all wanted to see it. She was so good, and it was just a taste of what was to come. We thought
it was crazy. Good. And I kept being like, don't get your hopes up. So, and she just kept exceeding expectations. Yeah. So, can't disagree further. My second we talked about already, but it was the Pride game, getting to hang with Alex. I've also got that on my list. Yeah, and the rest of the faithful was such a lovely day, and I couldn't fault it. The only thing wrong with that day was the bizarre weather, and Alex getting sunscreen in his eye.
Oh God, that sucked. That took so long to get out. Yeah, that was. Yeah, I was weeping for basically the first half. It was great. Yep. I was also weeping at the quality of football we played. Yeah. Other one for me, any of the Goal of the Year nominations, just because they were sick. I got to enjoy a few of them in person.
Yeah.
It was they were all fun. I said when Chloe kicked her goal against Fremantle, I was like, well, this is like the best goal I've seen in the AFLW. When Cynthia kicked her first goal, I was like, that's Goal of the Year. When Montana did it against Collingwood, I was like, well, that'll win Goal of the Year, because it was just so sick. It was like, for all those who know ball, that was like Robbie Armour against North Melbourne back in the day, when he took about 4 bounces off the half-back flank, had time to drop the ball and kick it, and Bruce McAvaney lost his shit.
Yeah. As I said earlier, Chloe Malloy, Cynthia Hamilton's will forever be the number one in my heart. Step 1, step 2, step 4, kick the goal. Yeah. It was like that I was rewatched it for some reason. I love that goal, so I'll rewatch it anytime. But we were only up by a point at that point, and I really think that helped us get over the line.
Oh yeah, we were too. Yeah. Remember when we thought Richmond were good?
Yeah. Well, we're still waiting for that one to drop. My third is, look, we already talked about it, but it is Chloe Malloy, and I know that sounds very strange, but I think people have already forgotten that this was her year coming off an ACL. And for her, and I could have probably specified Chloe Malloy in the Richmond game, but then she also did it in the Gold Coast game. Just how much of a fantastic athlete and dedicated athlete you have to be able to put on a performance like that for not less than a year off an ACL. Like, that is freak behavior. And we are so, so blessed that we got to see it. I was crying in the stands when she kicked that first goal. I think I even said to you, I don't think we're seeing it till round 3. I didn't even think she was going to play in that game. So for her to just come back and be the force that she is, I mean, everyone knows I love her. So
yeah. My next one was the Geelong game,
which I also have.
Yeah. So we tripped down to Geelong. It was great. There was a fair few of us that caught the train. A bunch of others got in the car. There was a group of about probably 10 to 15 of us in the end on the day there, sitting on the wing, just losing our absolute minds, like really cheering on the gals. It was a really good atmosphere. The Geelong fans were kind of fun. Like there was a bit of fun back and forth between them, but just the way that we won it with a couple of good late tackles when Sophia Hurley kicked that goal, like, yeah, there was a few of us losing our minds, and we were at that stage going, "Oh, something's feeling good here."
Yeah, there were 3 reasons I put this on my list. So this is my number 5. The Jazz Gruesome goal after 10 years. What a story. The Darcy Maloney goal against their old team. And that was the best game of the season. And the celebration. And also, people that know me know I had a very, very shit week that week. And so to get a win at the end of that week really was exactly what I needed. So yeah, my number 4 was the Gold Coast game because it was a record-breaking win. And it probably would have still been in the top 5 if other people didn't have record-breaking wins this year. I was hoping this was what we were going to see all season. Unfortunately, it wasn't. Gold Coast obviously were very, very bad. But Chloe nearly broke the games record. Sorry, the goals in a game record. She now holds it with Brooke Lachlan. We just played phenomenally. Our defensive line didn't let anyone in. We probably let in 2 goals that we shouldn't have. If Chloe kicked straight, she would have broken the record. Everyone had their moment. It was just such a fun game, and I thought it was going to set us up for a fantastic season. It set us up for two very good following games, but it was really just lovely to see.
I was 2 Lucy single possessions away from winning $10,000.
Can we gloss over that one?
Yeah, like
you got one more.
Yeah, this one because it made Pol cry when it happened, and the fact that she wasn't there to see it. It probably should have been my number 1. This was probably the funniest moments of the year for mine. Beck Privatelli turning back the clock against the West Coast Eagles with 3 snags for the Schwannies, kicking a 50th. We waited all year for it. And then winning the game off the boot. I thought she was a shot at getting a vote, to be honest. And I was disappointed.
So did I. That was disappointing. But
that was bullshit. Anyway.
No, she played in the Essendon game.
Yeah, but Priv turning back the clock against the West Coast Eagles in a must-win game. We needed someone to stand up. And Beck fucking Privatelli did it. God bless you, Beck.
I mean, I'll go forever. I'll go for life. We knew she had one more in her. We knew. We kept saying it. Just had to wait for the second last game of the season.
Can I have a 6th highlight, which is just for a gag?
Sure.
Lucy McAvoy not kicking a goal this season. Love you, Luce, but
she kicked 9 behinds. And then a few that went out on the floor or didn't make the distance.
Yeah.
What?
And she knew it too, which was the funny thing.
Look, we're leaving that in this year. That is a this year vibe. I'm never saying she's the best kick in the team again. I'm pretty sure I jinxed her. Loose, all the bad vibes are washed off. You're going to be fine next year.
Yeah.
And lastly, to wrap up this segment of our season review, we're going to talk about 5 improvements for next year. I'm going to talk about 5 improvements next year. Alex is going to talk about 1. So I'll quickly run through my 5 and then I'll let Alex have the floor. So I've got our forward line, which I did quickly mention. With our defensive line, that is the area we need to improve on most. As I said, defensive line was terrible last year. We made it better. Our forward line was bad this year. We're going to make it better in the offseason. Our marking, the basic skills of football, we lost sometimes in the middle of the games, and it cost us games. Our marking was probably the worst in the league at certain points. We need to focus on basic skills coming into this season. And then I've already obviously talked about this. Figure out how to combat the worst teams in the competition. They kept throwing an extra person around the ball. I don't know, maybe also throw an extra person around the ball. That's how they won these games. They wanted to turn it into a more combat that. Don't try and keep doing this attacking brand of footy if it doesn't work against them. Us being too reliant on our stars, I think when Chloe went out, it was really evident. And same with Cynthia and obviously Soph. These are things that are obviously going to get better as players get older. We know we have the youngest list in the league, or third youngest, whatever it is. These things will get fixed. That's not an issue. That's why it's number 4, not number 1. We are too reliant on these key players, but this is going to get better as we play more games. And number 5 is just the health of our players. Not nearly as bad as last year, but we did lose key players in key positions. Julie O'Sullivan, Sophia Hurley, Chloe Malloy, and Cynthia Hamilton all getting injured. was one of the major reasons
the Adelaide game.
Yeah, and Ali as well is one of the major reasons we didn't make finals. But that is my 5 things to improve on for next year. Alex, I will let you take it away.
Mine's 5 lines though, like for all those watching
Yeah, he
on
did
YouTube.
space it out, so it is 5 things, but it is one thing.
Get a tall fucking forward. Simple.
Yeah.
Get a tall. Like we have one. Like if our KPI this year was finals, we have one KPI in the off seasons. Get a tall forward in that forward line because it will release the pressure on Chloe Malloy from being the person to do anything. So I'm going to use a soccer analogy here, which I know doesn't compute to football, to AFL exactly. But I'm an Arsenal fan. For the last forever long, Arsenal have not had a striker because we just didn't. We had Eddie Nketiah and he was like kind of good but kind of shit. And no one was ever worried about Eddie Nketiah. It's, it's Eddie Nketiah. On the left wing, Arsenal have one of the best players in the on the right wing, Arsenal have one of the best players in the world, a left-footed kid by the name of Bukayo Saka. So teams would just go, we're just going to stick 3 on Saka and Arsenal won't do shit. What do teams do when they play the Sydney Swans? We'll just stick 3 on Chloe Malloy. Like, no offense, Holly Cooper and Paris McCarthy. You're not going to hurt us. Arsenal in the offseason got in a big Swedish bastard who'd been bombing goals in the Portuguese league called Victor Gyökeres. What has it done? Defenders are like, oh God, there's this big, hulking, beautiful man in the middle of the field that's got abs. We're gonna actually have to pay attention to this guy. And what are Arsenal doing right now? They are ripping the living shit out of the league at the moment. They are on top. They are 6 points in front on top of the league right now.
I think it was 4, but yeah.
At 6 now because Man City lost and then there were 7 in front of them, but we're 6 in front of Chelsea. By having an actual striker, it's actually given Bukayo Saka freedom. And he's like, oh yeah, this is great. Like his output still isn't as good, but he's getting more of the football and being able to do more of the football, which leads to Arsenal scoring more goals and winning more games. By the Swans getting a tall forward into their forward line, it will allow Chloe Malloy to have a touch more freedom to do the awesome, freakish Chloe Malloy things we all know, love watching her do. It will also give Cynthia Hamilton, Holly Cooper, Paris McCarthy, anyone else who gets in that forward line a chance to do stuff. Alexia Hamilton is another leading target, Amelia Martin, and so on. By doing that, yes, you have to pay them money. But the overall gain for the team is just infinite. It will add us another 3 or 4 goals. It's kind of like what we've done with Charlie. Isaac Heaney doesn't have to go forward all the time. But I wanted to get like an Arsenal chat in there because, well,
you can. It's our podcast. You can do what you want.
What I'm trying to do is make sense because the Swans have tall forwards that kick goals anyway. The Swans gals don't have any other tall forwards that kick many goals. There was only one player in double figures this year, and that was Chloe.
Yeah.
So that's the reference I'm trying to make. By having, when you've got a superstar, you still need someone really good to help complement the superstar.
100%. And I just think that it needs to be mentioned again. Priv's retired and Giselle Davies was delisted. So that's 2 people that we considered tall forwards that are already not in the list.
Yeah.
But that pretty much wraps up our review. We've, I think, covered off everything. If you want more in-depth discussion about any games, go back and listen to those episodes. But we're now going to jump into, right after this, a discussion of the trade period and everything else coming up within the next week or so. Welcome back to True Bloods. I'm going to quickly run over the trade period, which starts on next Thursday, so not tomorrow, the Thursday after. We currently have 4 list spots open, Alex. Yep. And it's one of a weird one because by this time last year...
Breaking news, the AFL Players Association, Zippy Fish has won Best First Year Player from the AFL Players Association.
Oh, what a shock.
Yeah, I'm shocked that the Rising Stars won that, but that's another award for one Zip Fish.
I think this was another weird thing about last night. Those normally get announced at the W Awards. Anyway, I have issues with the W Awards. Moving on. So what I was going to say is that this time last year, there was a lot of rumours about players wanting to move, players moving around. There has not been very much of that at all so far this year. There's been one player from Adelaide linked to Carlton. There isn't much else going on. I don't know if it's just sometimes at this time of year, there is a lack of AFL media around to talk about this specifically. So that could be a part of it. But I have this feeling in the back of my head, it's not going to be a very heavy trade year. And I think a lot of players are going to stay at their current club until the current CBA runs out in 2027.
Yeah. We're seeing a lot of people signing 2-year deals and 2-year contracts.
Yeah.
What pick do we have? What's our first? Was our first pick just 9? Like, I'm assuming it's
I think
9.
so. I don't think we did any future pick trading last year.
Okay, because the Gold Coast Suns are probably going to have the first. They're probably going to have the first pick, so they're going to need to sort of fuck around for their academy reasons.
Yeah.
Because they've got Ava Usher, who's going to be the number one draft pick by apparently just a mile. By so far, it isn't funny. Yeah, so we'll have pick 9. We've got 4 things. Eden Zank is going to go to Perth because her partner's from Perth, and she said in an interview today that Melbourne's a bit too chaotic, which I mean, fair. Like if you can get back to Perth, go there. Personally, if I'm West Coast, I'm throwing everything at her to try and get her in there. I don't know what you're going to use as trade bait because Eden Zank has been fucking phenomenal this year. So
Daisy.
yeah, I don't think. Yeah.
Hey, I don't know.
Yeah, we can have Daisy as our coach, and you can get Zanka. That's a wild trade. Anyway, we have a tall forward need. There is chat of one Taylor Smith from the Brisbane Lions wanting to leave. We're not going to hear more about this until obviously next week with Taylor Smith playing in a grand final this weekend. Anya McDonald was on the list of players that wanted to move. We were in heavily for her. Geelong, Essendon, and Sydney are in heavily for Smith. I don't know where this is going to land. No one kind of knows where this is going to land. Put it this way, guys. We heard the rumours about Ali Morfitt a few weeks ago. Don't listen to Riley Beveridge when it comes to Swans news. That stuff.
Listen to Riley Beveridge, period, honestly.
They do get leaked stuff by obviously the AFL's internal comms team because they work for the AFL.
Yeah.
But don't listen to Riley Beveridge for Sydney Swan stuff. He doesn't know. The Ali Morfitt stuff was manager driven. As you would have seen, it's completely died down because our season ended 3 weeks ago. Ali would have asked for a trade by now. Obviously, Boylo is requesting a trade to Carlton, and there was a player from Adelaide last year that we wanted. We didn't get because they stayed for another year. Can't remember her name. Anyway.
Just to confirm, we have picks 10, 28, and 46.
Okay.
And 64. So...
I think we might have academy people in the back end.
There was a couple that... So, Liam from the... I'm going to get the wrong Hawks podcast. The Soaring something. I'm so sorry, Liam. Absolutely fantastic guy. He does he pays a lot of attention to the draft. Alex Nyland is being talked about, and there was another one, Michaela Day. So there's a few in the academy, but nothing super.
Yeah,
around.
I had someone send Kai Broom sent me some stuff the other day. Where was it? I need to find it. You continue while I try and find this.
Yeah. So as I said, I have this feeling in the back of my head that it's not going to be a super heavy trade period. We just need to find someone. Because we can't rely on a draftee to come in and be the tall forward next year. It's just not possible. And we also got 4 list spots open, which obviously we can just take to the draft. But I do think you got to find someone to fill the 2 roles that you basically let go. Well, proof was our own decision.
Apparently we have 3 of the top 25 academy players in the rankings.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. And side note, McLaughlin didn't run top 3 in Gold Coast Best and Fairest.
That's so funny. Yeah. That's so funny. So Soaring to New Heights was the Hawthorn podcast. Yeah. Sorry, Liam. But yeah, so it's interesting. It will be interesting to see what happens. Obviously, we will do a podcast. We're going to wait till after the trade and the draft to do the wrap up, as opposed to doing them separately, because it's literally 4 days after
here we go.
After the trade period ends, the draft is. So there's no point separating them.
We got Kira Ubry. You've probably said these names already. We've also got Madeline Quinn, who's a ruck. That's good.
That was one that told me about ages ago.
It's all I got so far. Yeah. So they were picked 20 and 25 on this list that I've got sent to me here. That's all right. I'll cop that.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens. We don't really have much. We don't have any news. We don't have any mail for you. Sorry, Faithful. We'll see what happens. Hopefully we get Smith. We're usually pretty cagey about these things, so maybe it's being worked on. Unfortunately, Cal Toomey, who is the only person I ever trust when it comes to trade period, doesn't really do the W for this. No. Maybe he will now that the draft's over. I'm not sure. No. But I don't know. Tom Morris also doesn't really do W, but he always has Swan scoops. So keep an eye out on their socials. But as we said, the trade period starts next Thursday and goes till the 10th of December. And then the draft is on the 14th of December.
Okay, obviously Taylor Smith's the one obvious one that we do need. I give you one player in the competition that's #gettable. Who are you getting? And this also has to be someone that's you can't just say, Alex, we're going to get Poppy Schultz or Ellen Roberts or whatever. You need to think of someone who's either in a team that's going shithouse and going nowhere, or a player who kind of might be on the outs.
I feel like Richmond are still going to have a going out of business sale. And
we all know who I'm picking from Richmond.
Yeah, Brenner. Oh, Brent. Is that her name? Gosh, my brain's already fading.
Ellie McKenzie.
That's who I was thinking of.
Best pick in the competition, Ellie McKenzie.
Yeah. I do think that would be make the most sense. There isn't really anyone no one from the Gold Coast is going to leave. There's no one I want from the Giants.
If we can, I'd take who's headband?
Georgia.
Yeah.
Oh
Garnett.
my God. Garnett. Thank you. Sorry.
Yeah, Garnett's
guys.
awesome.
It's 8 p.m. My brain is starting really just turned to mush.
I'd take Garnett and Zali, obviously I'd take, but yeah, no.
But not really to fill the gap that we currently need.
I would see if Katie Brennan would be happy to come sit in the goal square.
Yeah.
She's like,
yeah.
Nothing. Hey, KB, come sit in the goal square for 2 years.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense. And I don't know why she'd want to stay. Their coach is about to get sacked. But anyway, yeah, there really isn't. That would be the only other option really out there. Because, there is a tall forward deficit in the competition. I had a Hawks fan because there was rumors about Taylor Smith also going to the Hawks the day that Anna Madonna re-signed. And I was like, absolutely not. We cannot let them get Taylor Smith as well. And I had a Hawks fan be like to me, well, why not? And I'm like, there is a tall forward deficit in the competition. Why would I want you to get a tall forward that I want? What a stupid thought. Anyway, the other thing, obviously, that's going to happen quite a bit in this trade period is the coaches situation, which we talked about at the start. There are currently 4 teams without coaches. Most likely Richmond's, we would have to assume Richmond's also going to sack their coach, probably 5. The current Melbourne coach will go to Geelong. I have an idea of who the new Melbourne coach will be, but this is founded on absolutely nothing.
No,
so
we're not talking about that. No. Side note, apparently Gold Coast could have up to 5 of the top 10 picks that are academy tied this year. So they're going to need to get funky with some trading to get all these picks.
Havana Harris, if you want to come play for us.
Byron Bay local.
So the most recent on the
another mum that follows me on Instagram, Havana Harris.
There you go. There have been obviously a lot of names flying around for our coaching role, which obviously we care about more than anyone else's coaching role. Part of me do think it might be Tanya Hetherington, but we will have to wait and see. They did put an ad out on LinkedIn a week ago. So it looks like they are kind of moving out of footy circles to see if there is anyone better out there. I think that's more to see if there's anyone cross sports, which I would not have an issue with, honestly. But they're also in an article today, Carlton assistant Glenn Stranch and North Melbourne assistant Reece Hardwood have also been linked to the Melbourne and Sydney job. So who knows? Well, obviously there'll be a post if anything happens between now and then. I'm hoping we get someone in before the trade period starts, as I talked about at the start. But again, we'll have to wait and see. But Alex, it is the grand final this weekend.
Hell yeah, it is. Sorry, I just found an article about the trade period. I'm trying to see if there's any mention of the Swans. Gold Coast could get rid of Claudia Whitford, Jackie Dupay, and Lauren Bella. Christy Lee Western Turner could go to North Melbourne. That just fucking sucks. Sydney are now
that was
seen
the one where I was
as
like, please step in here. This is stupid.
Sydney are now seen as the front runners to get Taylor Smith if she leaves. There you go.
Okay. Well, that would be great.
She's also in contract negotiations as well.
It did seem like, look, this is going off absolutely nothing. She has had a down year. It does seem like she kind of doesn't want to be there. So I wouldn't be surprised if she wanted to leave.
She was good on the weekend.
Yeah.
How could Carlton get Cambridge McCormack? So I'm just reading this now.
Yeah, stop. You're going to make yourself mad.
Geordie Allen could leave. I'd take Geordie Allen. She's good. Good defender.
Yeah, but then who do you get rid of? Yeah. This is the thing, Alex.
Yeah, Ali Morfitt Met not going anywhere. Tilly's going to leave Hawthorn. That sucks. I love Tilly.
Yeah.
Tilly anyway, I'm going to get back on track.
It is the grand final this weekend. I will be there. I am assuming you will also be there.
I will not. I need to drive my lovely fiancée to the airport because she's going to Switzerland for a week for work.
Well, then Alex will not be there. He will be listening in the car.
Hopefully, like Triple M or ABC or 3AW are covering it.
Well, I mean, Marnie will be covering it, so I'm sure ABC will have a feed. Yeah. But we are going to quickly go through our grand final predictions. Also, if you see me at the grand final, come up and say hi. obviously.
Yeah,
I would love
oh,
to
yeah,
see
we're all
love to
catching
see-
up on Friday night. How good.
Yeah,
Good on you.
I'm seeing the boys on Friday. I'm in a good mood. So I will be going for Brisbane. And for one reason and one reason alone, that is for Miss Jade Ellinger. The first wife of
First lady. The first lady.
the first lady of the True Buds podcast. Which makes it sound like she's dating one of us. First lady of our favorite person. I don't know. Anyway, that is the only reason I'm going for Brisbane. I
Yeah.
don't really want to see them have the full trophies at once. I think that's kind of shitty. But hey, it's better than North going back to back. It's
I
more of an
honestly
interesting
like.
story.
I think it'll be a tremendous game. I honestly don't
Yeah.
care for the result. Like last year, I wanted North to win. So I felt like they deserved to.
Yeah.
And now I got the ick about North. Not because
Yeah.
everyone's like, oh, they're ruining football.
No.
I just haven't
Their players are kind of annoying.
It's not their players. Their fans are acting all entitled recently. And I'm
Yeah.
like, guys,
But also, so are the players, and they think they can get away with it because the players are acting like that. That's my
Yeah.
hot take.
The
Anyway,
fan-
I got called the second biggest hater of North Melbourne yesterday. So
Joey
take that
Fortune
with a grain
number
of
one.
salt. What?
Joey Fortune number one,
Yes,
clearly.
yes. Who is also
no,
my very good friend, and we do have a chat dedicated to just hating North Melbourne.
Yeah,
so.
no, so mine's more like I was complaining about Laura Gardner not getting in the All Australian team, and I'd like North Melbourne fans flooding my mentions about, oh, what about North Melbourne? I'm like, bruh, I'm talking
I don't
about Laura
care.
Gardner. I don't give a-
I tweeted about how
This is a guy who loves Libby Birch, thinks Libby Birch is one of the best
Yeah.
players, was the final piece to North Melbourne. Libby Birch is the reason North Melbourne are undefeated.
Yeah. I tweeted about how I didn't think the Giants and the Suns should have a defensive player in the league, and they took that as the North team should get in, and I was like, that's not what I meant at all. But anyway, but I do think North are going to win. all in all.
So cheering Brisbane, think North will win, think North will win by 3 goals. And
I think he's going to win by a goal.
And then the Aaron Phillips medal, which we have named, it should be the Aaron Phillips or the Phillips Pierce, whatever we want to call it.
Yes.
Vicky Wall, 3 goals and
like
15
it.
touches.
I like it. I was going either. Look, I'm going very, very Irish too here. I think it's going to be either Blathan. I really still don't know how to pronounce her name.
Bogue.
Blaheen, that's it. Blaheen, Bogue, or Erica O'Shea. I think either of those two are going to have a big game and get them over the line. But it's going to hopefully be a fantastic day. It's going to rain, unfortunately. But it'll be first time at Icon Park, so I'm excited to see what all the hate is about.
I will. There is when you go there, the best hot chips come from the Greek joint.
Good to know.
Don't get the Greek food, but if you want to get the wrap, go to the chicken wrap place to get the chicken and avocado bacon wrap. But you get the chips from the Greek place.
Okay. It is at 7:45, so I probably would have already had dinner, but still.
I'm just.
It's good to know. It's good to know.
The Greek place hasn't been open all season, but they open in finals.
There you go. That's why they had such good crowds over the weekend. The Greek place was open.
This is from a guy who eats a lot of hot chips at football, but isn't at the moment. He's on a fucking wedding diet.
But after the grand final next Friday, it is our club champions, so we're quickly going to predict how we think that is going to go. My top 5 is Laura Gardner, Zippy Fish, Alice Mitchell, Tiny Kennedy, and Ali Morfitt. Alex, your top 5?
Laura Gardner, Zippy Fish, TK, Montana Ham because of the early start of the season. A lot of votes early, and Ali Morfitt.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. The only reason I have Alice so high is our voting system is absolutely insane and impossible to understand. So I do think she'll get votes because of that reason. For Ham, probably stiff to miss my top 5. I could see it going anyway, really. And then we've got the player's player. I'm going for Priv because she did retire, and I'm pretty sure last year we gave it to one of the retirees.
I just went Laura Gardner because she was our best player.
Yeah, fair. Best club person, I've gone Cynthia Hamilton.
I went Jazz Grierson because she went full mum mode on a few of the young players. Like her and Zippy Fish being best friends is like the funniest thing.
One of my favorite stories of the year. It should have been one of my highlights, honestly.
Yeah.
And then Rising Star, with no question. We didn't even need to add it in. Was Zippy Fish.
Yeah.
But that pretty much wraps us up. This has been very long, and we tried to not make it as long, and it was still very long. But thank you for listening to our season review. We will be back probably around the time of my 30th birthday, which is insane to say, to review the trade period and the draft. We are going to be a podcast full of 30-year-olds next year, which is quite bizarre. But this has been True Bloods, the #1 independent Sydney Swans fan podcast. We're #1 in the hearts. We're #1 on the charts. We're speaking words of wisdom. Up the potty.